Oh, hello again. So what we're gonna do now is an eye tutorial that is for someone very dear to me. And you know what? It is the Taylor Swift tutorial. It's the Taylor Swift one. It's the Taylor Swift one. Yeah, so this is for Brittany, obviously. So I looked up some pictures of Taylor Swift at the Elle Woman of the Year Award, like something like that. And it's this really beautiful look that has a really unique shape to it. And it's really different from what Taylor normally does. So when I look at a makeup that I'm going to try to copy, I look at a few key things. I look at the shape, I look at the colors, I look to see, is it shiny, is it matte, what are we working with here? When you're copying a makeup look, it is no problem to change a little bit for your personal style, for whatever you want. And so for this one, the most interesting thing that I'm seeing is the winged out shape, and that her waterline, which is this, boop, right there, has a light, potentially white, nude, just a lot happening right here, line on it. And her skin is really clean and dewy looking. We just did the skin tutorial, so my skin looks awesome. Sometimes I do foundation before I do my eyes. I usually do my top lid first before I do foundation. The reason for that is in case there's any fall down, I can wipe it up. But like I've mentioned before, someone once told me that's the mark of a lazy makeup artist, but just like whatever. If you're doing a black smoky eye, like I mean, go forth if you want to do your foundation first and then like wipe off all that, like, but you know. Okay, so I couldn't really find a great picture of Taylor's eyes closed for this look, so we're gonna wing it. I'm gonna start the way that I always do, which is with the MAC Painterly paint pot. I'm gonna use my fingertip and I'm going to prime my lid. When I prime my lid, I like to keep the paint pot thickest on the lid and then kind of just like work it out across the whole eye zone. So let's do that. So for this look, I'm going to be relying a lot on my Vice palette by Urban Decay, Vice 3. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use a bone shadow all over my lid. The reason I like to do that is I feel like it's like starting with a blank canvas. All the other shadows I use around will blend out better. Using a matte bone shadow is just my preference for starting an eye. God, I sound so professional in this one. I'm like taking it so seriously. I'm either like a strange little weirdo or I'm a super pro. Okay, whatever, it's fine. We're gonna use the MAC 217, which is the brush, shut up, there you go, which is the brush that I use to do like 90% of my eye makeup. So I'm just picking up a little bit of Truth from the Vice palette, the one that's like totally powdery and crazy looking right there. Then I'm gonna tap some off. Good God. Okay, I picked up a lot. You don't need that much. And then I'm just gonna start kind of swiping it across my lid. So that just gives me a really great base to work with. And I often use the bone color for my lid to keep the brightness there. Sure. The next thing that I'm gonna do, yeah, I really can't find a good pic of her eyes closed, so I'm just gonna go with what I see, which is that there's lightness in here, darkness in there. Sounds pretty standard. The next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get Undone out of this palette. Ooh, right there. Ooh. And I'm gonna start building up a crease, focusing the darkness on the outer corner. Can you see good? Because her shape that this look is winged out a little bit, I'm gonna start kind of laying down the groundwork for that and sort of dragging it out further than I would normally do on an ordinary kind of look. So the shape that I'm going to go is going to be kind of like here. She has shorter eyebrows than I do, so she has more room to like wing up. So I'm just going to make it the me version, the Devin version. So that just adds a little bit of sort of like a blueprint of where I'm going to go with the darker shadows. Again, I'm just going to keep going with this brush until I have to do more detailed work, because this brush is the best thing ever. Fluffy, so it blends it out really nicely and doesn't leave you with any hard lines, but it's stiff enough that you get a really, cross-eyed. It's stiff enough that you get a good amount of product on the eye. So let's just jump right into it. We're gonna use Defy right here. Boop. Same brush, and we're just gonna define that crease a little bit more. I'm gonna go pretty light on it because this is a very pigmented shadow and I wanna be able to turn back if I need to. Does that look good? Yeah, that looks really good. So we're sort of starting to build it up a little bit. We have this like janky ass thing going on there. Don't worry about that. Never worry about that. Just fine. So I just got interrupted, which is fine because I wanted to bring up something else, which is, let's take it back a little. Shiny, shimmery, or matte shadows. I really like using matte shadows. I find that I have more control with how a matte shadow will blend. I find that a shimmery shadow, once you use it, it sort of gets all up in the business of what you're trying to work on. And if I'm using a shimmery one, I usually add it towards the end. That's my preference. This look on the old T-Swift, I think she's got some shimmery stuff going on. I keep like looking at my reference pictures. So let's try to add some. It's not 100% in my comfort zone. I really like sticking with matte, but that's my personal preference, and that's my reason why. I think that shiny ones just kind of like dominate the look, and I like to be the... Never mind. I'm just gonna keep building up this color. Now what I'm gonna do is, because I've left this whole area really light, I'm gonna start bringing the darkness right into this corner while trying to maintain the light right here to kind of give that smoked out look. So let's do that. Something that you may see me doing is I'm focusing in a corner, and then I swipe over. The reason why I'm doing that is you can kind of see that there's sort of like a bit of a line happening here, and when I've worked almost all the product off the brush, it's almost like free of product. I can just use the fibers of it to blend out that line. So I'm sort of like working it, and just blending it out, and working it and blending it out. I'm going to keep going with Defy because I'm into that color, but I'm going to change my brush up. I'm going to use this one, which is a MAC. Let's see. We're going to use the MAC 239, which is nice. It's flat. Nope. Jesus. Okay, it's flat like this. Ooh, it's so pretty. And it's also still fluffy, so I can start to draw out that angle without committing to a super harsh line, because this look it's like a smoked out kind of wing. So I'm starting from the corner of my eye. I'm sort of aiming towards where if you had kept drawing my eyebrow and I kept drawing this corner, it would make a little triangle, which is also how I do my cat eyes. So I've got one line going. I'm sort of making it a triangle to work into my crease. And I'm also going to use this opportunity to draw this line onto my lid a little bit more to be like a smoky liner. I'm going about 3/4 of the way over, keeping it thickest at the edge. Ooh, look at that. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go back in with a slightly darker shadow and sort of darken up that shape we just did. I'm going to use Revolver from the Vice palette, which is like the black one. And I'm not going all the way out because I don't want it super dark over there. We are going to go clean up that line later too. I'm just sort of messing with it until I feel good about the shape. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back in with the 217 with Revolver, and I'm just going to darken up the edge of my crease a tiny bit. Right up in there. So that looks pretty dark, good to me. Next what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a flat concealer brush like this, which is a MAC one. I don't have the number of it, I'm sorry. And I'm going to take my face powder, MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in Light. I'm going to take it, some of it on both sides, and using the flatness of it and the edge of it, I'm going to clean up this line. Do you see the difference? Looks a lot better now, right? Yeah, you were worried there for a minute. I was gonna leave it that way. Never. So then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a clean 217 and I'm going to take this DTF shadow right here, and I'm gonna sort of make a little bit of a transition between this line and this like big light space right there. Nice. Well, I could use a little more over on this side. That's too much. It's too much, so I'm just gonna use my wrist. I'm gonna swipe the shadow off my wrist and go back in with that brush. Blend that out. The next thing I want to do is highlight this shit. I like to use that MAC 239 brush for a highlighter. I'm not really crazy about any of the shadows in here in the Vice palette for a highlighter, so I'm gonna go in and use my favorite highlight, which is by MAC, and it's called Shroom, and it's this one right here. I like a nice champagne-y kind of highlight. So I'm going to use the flat side of this Jesus! And I'm also going to put it on the inner corner of my eye because this look has a very bright inner corner. I also like to kind of drag my highlight a little bit past my brow with a look like this that's extended so that it all sort of pulls together. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try out this shadow called, ooh, look at my hand, isn't it fun? Called Last Sin that's in there. That's like right up here. It's a kind of a coppery champagne-y color. And I'm going to pat a little bit right in here on the inner lid. So this is me using the sparkly shadow last. So it just adds a little more shimmer. And I'm just kind of patting it on there. Okay, so that's our upper lid. Hope it looks good for you. The next thing we're gonna do is I'm going to line my inner waterline with a nude pencil because she has that really intense brightness in the eye. So I'm using this Urban Decay Naked 24/7 Glide On. It's got like a double-sided thing happening. The sun is moving, I'm sorry. I like to use my ring finger to pull my lid down and then hold the pencil like this. That didn't really do what I wanted to do, so I'm gonna get a white pencil and I'm gonna try that again. So now I'm using this Inglot Soft Precision pencil liner. We're gonna try that again. And I'm really going back and forth to get a lot of product on there because I really want it to be lighter. So next what I'm going to do, there's a bunch of different ways that you can get the smoky under eye look. It looks like she's got some black liner as well as a smoked out look under there. So I'm going to grab this Technicolor pencil by MAC called Brown Border, and I'm going to draw a line under the lashes. Looks real wiggity. So then we're gonna blend it. I'm using, I think this is a 210, the MAC pencil brush, to blend underneath the eye. And I'm blending it up into that line. I'm also going to pick up a little bit of DTF and a little bit of Defy from the Vice palette and put it on the pencil brush. And try that. So Taylor really has like more of like a squinty eye, like a squint. She's got squinty eyes. I've got big round eyes. It's not gonna look the same. That's fine. The next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab that, I think we agreed it was a 239 brush, the flat one that I use for my highlight, and I'm gonna pick up a little bit of DTF and Defy again and blend that out even more. I feel like my line is a tiny bit harsh, so I'm going to take my 217 again, and I'm just going to buff over it a tiny bit. The thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab Urban Decay, the other end of the 24/7 liner, and I'm going to try to define even more right along where my lashes are. I'm also going to put a little bit on my upper lash line right on the corner because I think it'll look good. Next I'm going to grab an even more aggressively shimmery eyeshadow. I'm going to put it right in the inner corner. My choice for that is Floof by MAC, which I love. It is right here. It's kind of like a pinky champagne color. To do this, I'm grabbing my 239 again. I have multiples of all these brushes so that I don't have to clean them while I'm working. Really brightening up the eye in there. Now I am going to do my eyebrows. Today for my eyebrows, I'm going to be using an eyeshadow from this MAC palette that I've used to hell It is that one right there. It's limited. I don't know if the name even matters. Its name is Smoking. And I like the 266 brush from MAC for my eyebrows. The reason I'm using the shadow today is so that I have a little bit of a softer look than I would if I was using the gel. Get that sharp point at the end of my eyebrow, I like to press the brush down and then flick it. That is more aggressive than the other one. Eyebrows are sisters, not twins. The light is killing me right now. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to curl my eyelashes and I am going to put mascara on. So here's a fun thing to do. Put fire in your eyes. So I got this lit on fire. I'm testing how hot it is in the palm of my hand. Same principle as a curling iron. Till when it's not too hot, I'm going to go in. Curl those bitches. Always test it so you don't burn your shit. I find it makes a really big difference. Now I'm going to put mascara on. I like the MAC False Lashes. Okay. I got this make. So this is the Taylor Swift eye from the Elle Woman of the Year Awards. Try to get like that squint on. I'm going to put some lip on. It's Please Me by MAC. I just got it yesterday, so I'm stoked on it. It's not like the same one that she wears, but it's the one I'm going to wear right now. It's not the one I'm going to wear right now. Gonna change. I don't think that's gonna be good. So I'm gonna put this like pinky lip treat by Meridesso on and see where that goes. That looks better to me because the lip that she has is sheer and glossy. I think I have a little more color on in my cheeks and my lips than she does, but this was really about the eye. As far as copying her look goes. So until next look, I hope this looks like what you guys want it to look like. For all my millions and millions and millions of subscribers, feel free to request another look or another technique that you'd like to see, and maybe we'll get into false lashes or something later. Okay, it's really hot here right now, so I'm gonna go take this makeup off. Alright, bye.